Free professional doctor shopping advice follows. The audio uses the read aloud feature of Microsoft Word. I walked into the other room. Urgently, but with great precision, I reviewed my well-thumbed Hartford area phone book. I remembered thinking how many laughs my wife had at the expense of me and my modified telephone book. I put tabs in several places, in front of the physicians and surgeons section, the pharmacy section and others including funeral directors. This way I wouldn't waste valuable search time turning pages and it made it easy for my wife in case I croaked. I could go directly to my favorite place in the book. "Pi, you're one of a kind," she'd laugh. "God must have broke the mold after she made you." Damn. I said to myself. I gotta find a new doctor. What do I do? What do I do? Remembering the first rule of doctor shopping, I ignored females. In my considered experience, female physicians are too conservative, too careful, and too goddamned afraid. In fact, I don't think I ever found a lady MD who prescribed drugs wantonly, the way I liked it. All the quacks I ever found were men. Female physicians are to be avoided like the plague. Useless. Another group to instantly forget is the nurse practitioners, male and female. They operate under the auspices of a licensed medical doctor and want to fix your problems, not prescribe painkillers. Shit, I didn't need a fixer now, I need a goddamn fix. These cats can prescribe anything, true, but are not autonomous and answer to their supervising doctors on a regular basis. You'd be lucky to get Vicodin from them. It's more likely that you'd get some kind of bullshit lecture about drugs and something derogatory written in your chart to ruin your future, if you happen to have one. I also didn't want a newly minted doc. The ink is barely dry on their licenses and these cats want to diagnose and treat, not cover up trouble with a painkiller. There was no easy way to tell how long a doctor had been licensed in the days before the internet. Now it is a snap to check. I should start a website with doctor shopping recommendations and advice. Hey, I found my niche and can make some money. Neurosurgeons always gave me a hard time concerning narcotic pain medicine. I attribute this to the fact that they work with the brain and central nervous system, the site where all addiction occurs in the body. These doctors are fond of prescribing Tylenol number 3, acetaminophen with 30 milligrams of codeine if they have to prescribe anything. They also like to operate on your sorry ass and make lots of do-re-mi. I didn't need that right now. Later, I had some award-winning neck and belly surgeries and this helped in my dogged attempts to score. I think they started feeling sorry for me because my surgeries made me look like a newly butchered cow. But the bones they threw me were in the form of small Percocet scripts. Doctors try to give you Ultram, Tramadol, when going down the line from ibuprofen to opiates. I remembered that Ultram can cause seizures at high doses, especially when taken concomitantly with SSRIs. If they mention Ultram, I tell them about the seizure I had on it. It helps to know what to say in advance and how to describe a seizure. Although it is not a controlled drug, Ultram can cause dependence and withdrawal of the opiate type if you take it long and hard. I didn't have a computer system to analyze the prescribing habits of physicians like I did when I worked at the hospital. Oh, Lord, I wish I had the same access that the Drug Enforcement Administration has. I'd be very happy to look at the records of just one pharmacy. Hey, talking to a pharmacist would be good if I could find one to liaise with. They know all the wacky doctors in the area and I am sure that they could recommend a couple of bad ones. Pain management doctors are always good. They prescribe Schedule II narcotics by the metric ton. The problem here is that I would need a referral and time, something I did not have. In fact, my withdrawal symptoms were getting worse. Damn. Something else to worry about, shitting in my pants. Forgery was another option but a stupid one. The best I could do along these lines would be to call in something in Schedule 3, 4, or V. Here you find the bullshit like codeine and Vicodin, something I wouldn't turn down at the moment. I wouldn't go chasing the stuff when more potent drugs could be had with the stroke of a pen. I could do my best forgery by obtaining blanks. Or I could take a filled-in script into the darkroom and remove the written-on bullshit and print new ones. I'd need a valid DEA number and doctors are not pre-printing it as much these days, to eliminate fraud from people like me. The graphics arts skills I learned in high school coupled with my knowledge of computer science are quite useful, but I will leave details out to protect the guilty, me. I won't be too helpful, but, with some resolve and fortitude, you can wander the internet to learn the formula the DEA uses to create their numbers. It's easy to make a correct DEA number once you have the simple algorithm. But when you creep up to your favorite CVS drug counter, your newly created number and doctor's name will not be in their computer system. Use an existing doctor for a forgery rather than beg for jail with a new number. Always enforce absolute quiet when using a phone for a scam. Remember that you need to sound like somebody's office, not town fair tires or Times Square on New Year's Eve. Filter out people talking, dogs barking, fish swimming, you get the idea. Add a second or third phone to your new scripts. For an additional number, find a working fax line so it will squeal if you listen to it. No one will be sending anything there anyway. I'll tell you about a nice scam that some friends of mine cooked up a while back. They worked in NYC where they created a new doctor with a Tony Park Avenue address.
New York City.
The phone numbers on their new scripts were actually landlines in some dumpy apartment in the Bronx. When Junkie A enters a pharmacy with a newly written dilaudid script, any skeptical pharmacist will call the phone number listed on the prescription. This was New York City after all, and he wouldn't want to fight with a 10-inch phone book or pay to use directory assistance. That's a bad move on the part of the druggist. If the pharmacist does try to and casually tell the guy that your doctor recently moved into his new office, the foot person, scorer, should always be standing around, listening intensely and making surreptitious notes, if possible. If all else fails, you can always run. My friends had some woman answer the phone at the apartment. They found a dope fiend chick with a working brain and clear speaking voice, not easy to find. This receptionist would talk to the pharmacists when they would call. Good morning. This is Dr. Johnson's office, Susan speaking. Would you hold please? She takes her time to locate the chart. She practiced thoroughly beforehand. If her okay isn't enough, she'd put the druggist on hold so she could locate the doctor. The dude with the brains behind it all got on the line. You knew he was the main man because he wasn't the jammogue who went into the drug stores. They told me they got bored filling all those dilaudid scripts. By that time, 1990, Noel had taken the rush out of crushing and shooting the DL pills. Now, you need parenteral, injectable, dilaudid for that flash. My friends filled every prescription they attempted. Needless to say, you need to use a map and a logbook. Every piece of information from every script needs to be logged. Like the doctors do, make physical copies of your scripts. Always take your time and flutter pages and bang charts, lightly, when verifying a prescription. With this kind of scam, you can go for other drugs besides the dilaudid, but don't get greedy or try to cash something that's unlikely to be in stock, like say, levodromerin, a potent narcotic analgesic. In 2013, levodromerin was taken off the market. Absolutely, do not hand out blank prescriptions to your friends. For Mikey, me, when I create a scam moneymaker, I never let anyone in on it. Why be stupid? Letting people go wild will ruin your beautiful swindle and get you busted. You can repeat this process in a month or two and, if you do, start out with a small test case. Drop off a prescription and call the pharmacy to check on it. Or, you can have the chick who was answering the phones, in the Bronx, go in the pharmacy to observe and listen when you, the main man, call to check your test case. Have her look at vitamins or eyeglasses near the prescription counter. I had to laugh here. I remembered when I was stranded at my mother's house and needed a script bad back in the 1970s. I went out and bought some white fiberboard and black, stick-on letters in 10 and 12-point type. Making a reasonable facsimile was easy, and I remembered Dr. Pascal's DEA number and added that. Then, I walked to a quickie copy to make copies, but they wouldn't let the customers use their copy machines. Oh, no. But I told them that I had a private will to copy. I told them that they could copy it but couldn't look at it. They made the copies all face down and gave them to me that way. Hilariously, the printed version of the prescription looked like something you'd see when someone created a threatening message using letters cut out of a magazine. None of the letters was completely straight, but I tried. It worked, and I was able to fill these half-assed prescriptions after I got out my scissors, cut them to the size, and wrote bifetamine 20 mg dead center.
Black beauties.
Finally, I went to town, or rather to the drug store, and no one said anything but thank you. Please come again. I could get help, too, but that was at the bottom of my list. I managed to call Manchester Hospital, and the nice girl at the physician referral service gave me the name of a new doctor in the area. Oh, shit. Here I go with another untested new guy. I didn't have much choice. Too bad my days at Screwy Louie's were over. Now that was nice. If you wanted to kill yourself, that is. Maybe he was doing a public service by killing off the junkies. That was why the feds didn't shut him down.
Dr. Ramirez.
I had to endure this new doctor and submit to a lidocaine injection in my right shoulder. The output of this session was a script of 40 Tylox, which is like Percocet with some extra Tylenol to rot your liver more quickly. My liver was already in bad shape, and I would just have to be careful. Yeah, careful. Who was I kidding? Unfortunately, when I went to fill the script, I didn't have enough money on me to cover it. I didn't feel like harassing my wife at work in Hartford. I headed home and grabbed one of her checks and signed it. We had the bank account and credit cards in her name only, and you can see why. I am a little dangerous when it comes to money. Getting fortified. After I got back home with the booty, a bunch of glorified perks, I popped 5 capsules and cracked a Heineken. I dialed Black and hoped that he was still free that day so I could be driven, chauffeured, to Holbrook Hospital. Then, I could drink all the beer I wanted without having to worry about getting busted on the way. That was the master plan. Hey, Black. How are ya doin'? I queried. Can you drive me over to Holbrook and Westport later on? Why can't you drive yourself, Gayda? Did you lose your license already? Not, I still have it, but not for long. I just want to make sure I can drink all I want. I don't want to worry about getting knocked off for another driving under before I go into detox, I explained helpfully. I can take you, but it can't be an all-day affair. You are a pain in the ass when you get drunk. Don't worry about it, Black. I will be arriving on the Amtrak at 2:15 p.m. Be there and pick me up, okay? Oh, yeah, got any weed? We can score some when you get here. I will see you at the rail at 2:15, Gayda. Thank you for listening. The entire autobiography is called Fiasco, the autobiography of Michael J. Gayda.
Thank you.